8th. Ask if you have a cell phone, please turn it off or place it on silent. Please join me in a moment of silence. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Mr. Domingo, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Clark.
Here.
Reed. Here. Brown.
Here.
Lawler.
Here.
Spicer.
Here.
Williamson.
Here.
And Mayor Atchison.
Here. Okay. First item is approval of the agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, agenda is approved. Public comments. Persons wishing to address the City Council on the agenda item are asked to limit your comments to 3 minutes. Proper decorum is required, and I ask all members in the gallery to be mindful and respectful of the speaker.
My name is Brenda Davis. I live at 1229 Highland Avenue. And my question is that where you are going to have a third party verify whatever, you didn't do that for Davion, and I'm wondering if you do go through with this tonight, are you going to rehash Davion's situation or give him the same treatment? Because if you're going to spend money on Councilman Brown, we should spend the same amount on Davion. Thank you.
Are there other public comments this evening?
Thank you, Mayor. Wayne Arnold, 906 Hall Street. First of all, I believe in oversight of all city employees, and to be fair, I wasn't pleased with the way Chief Kip nor the City Council handled my complaint in 2016 when I was threatened by a white extremist. So I think the public should see the entire email, not just excerpts stating to get rid of the chief because of him being untrustworthy. And I also think the public would like to know if council has reviewed the entire email, and what do you understand it to say? And please comment when appropriate. And lastly, I would like to see the council have these closed door sessions out in public, because this speaks to transparency. Thank you.
Are there other public comments this evening?
Yes. Yvonne Brown, 209 West Mulberry. I would like to say, from what I can understand, when Davion, that incident, the mayor or the chief didn't apologize to his family for what happened. So I want to apologize to his family from the community. Thank you.
Are there other public comments this evening? Seeing none, we'll move to the next item, which is, next item is requesting approval to assign a third party to verify whether alleged conduct by Councilmember Brown occurred. May I have a motion to direct the city manager and city attorney to contract with a third-party law firm with no connection to the city of Albion to verify whether the alleged conduct by Councilmember Brown occurred substantially as described within the complaint, and the value of the contract not to exceed $10,000 without prior approval by the council.
So moved.
Okay, may I have support? Okay, discussion. Councilwoman Brown, did you have a?
I did have
Okay.
my hand up.
to actually make a motion. I understand you just stated one and it's been moved and supported. Prior to the meeting, I put a memo at everyone's seat asking, I have no problem with an investigation, a third-party investigation. I welcome it. It's long overdue, needs to be done. I'll just say that what I'm asking is that council approve an investigation of the allegations of harassment made by Chief Kip, and also an investigation into who leaked the complaint made by Chief Kip to the public without a FOIA request. I ask that this third party be a law firm or investigator at the recommendation of the city manager, and my reasons are as follows. The allegations of harassment are serious, and they should be taken seriously by the city. The complaint submitted by Chief Kip to the mayor has been made public via social media on City Watch News on September 22nd, and the document was printed verbatim on October 1st. The public leaking of this document has tainted the fairness of the process and violated my right to address the complaint in a closed session. Attorney Harkness has expressed his desire to not be involved. Attorney Dietz is mentioned in the complaint, so I think a third party should be consulted, but I think that should occur absent of Attorney Harkness and Attorney Dietz, and I do trust City Manager McCleary to make that recommendation. So that's my amended motion.
So I'm going to look at the original complaint and see whether, I didn't recall Attorney Dietz being mentioned in the complaint submitted.
Attorney Harkness has his hand up.
Yeah, I'm going to read this first, and then I'll recognize Attorney Harkness. Okay, so I don't see Attorney Dietz mentioned in the complaint filed by Chief Kip. Attorney Harkness.
So just so the council's aware, this is a unique scenario for the city. I've spoken to Ms. Chelsea Dietz with Keller Toma, and we both agree, since we're both contracted with the city, we both report to the city council. Given that this involves a council member, we would have an inherent conflict of interest. The last time we did an investigation, we used, there wasn't this same conflict of interest issue, even though we used a separate person at that firm. In this particular case, since we have that conflict of interest, that conflict of interest is imputed to the remaining members of the firm, so we're not allowed to use a separate member of the firm. One thing that I did discuss with the manager, there are some other firms, there's a number of firms in the state, but firms that we're going to have to avoid right out of the bat is Miller Canfield, because they're our bond counsel, probably Truin Law, because they've had some other interactions with the city. So just want to give you that heads up, and it's not, I certainly don't want the council to think it's not because I'm just unwilling, it's just because I have an inherent conflict of interest, because Councilwoman Brown is one of 7 individuals that I report to, and so that would be an issue for both myself and Ms. Dietz.
Okay, so I'm going to correct what I had just said before you spoke, which now I overlooked her name. I see that it is in the complaint. Councilman. Okay.
Point of information was, did Councilmember Brown make an amendment to the motion?
I did.
Okay, so let me restate the motion for clarity.
Okay, so
the amendment-
point of order, there is an investigation that's on the agenda. To expand that, include another investigation, that would be a modification to the agenda.
No, I don't think I argue that it's not. Because it had not been for that leak, I could have had this meeting in closed session, and my due process would not have been violated.
So, City Attorney, okay, it's having an investigation into the leak is not on the agenda. I view it as an expansion or a modification to the agenda. It's a separate investigation. So,
So there's a fine line. It would be my opinion that I think if the motion were modified, you could include that as a tangential part of the same investigation. I can see it from both sides, but my opinion would be that you probably could do
So again, I will state my motion if I may.
State your motion.
My amended motion is for council to approve an investigation of the allegations of harassment made by Chief Kip, and also an investigation into who leaked the complaint submitted to the mayor to individuals leaked to City Watch News without a FOIA request by a suitable third-party law firm or investigator made at the recommendation of City Manager McCleary.
So that's the amendment. Is there support for the amendment?
Support.
Okay, is there discussion, further discussion on the amendment? Okay. So we're going to vote on whether we approve the amendment. Mr. Miga, would you read the roll?
Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Lawler.
Yes.
Spicer.
Yes.
Williamson.
No.
And Mayor Atchison.
No. So the amendment is approved. Please be quiet in the gallery. Okay. The amendment has been approved. So now if you read the roll again.
Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Lawler.
Yes.
Spicer.
Yes.
Williamson.
Yes.
And Mayor Atchison.
Yes. Okay. Public comments. Are there any further public comments this evening?
I just might have one. Wayne Arnold, 906 Hall Street. I would just like to follow up on the two questions I asked earlier. Okay, are the emails going to be released to the public entirely so we can see what actually was said? And my second question, did council review the email? Did you review it? And what did you understand it to say? Is that something that can be answered or not in public?
We'll wait till after, if any council member wants to comment on that, they can.
I'm asking for I'm talking about in public. Can you comment in public whether you read the email and what did the email say?
So
And
we can't, sir, we can't comment at this point.
say that then.
Are there any other public comments this evening? You did not have a city manager's report today, do you? You got it yesterday.
Just
Oh, go
two
ahead.
very brief comments, Your Honor. I just want to let the council know that I sent out copies of the Parks and Recreation Master Plan to the council as requested last night, and also a copy of the Opportunity Zone map that was requested. And I was very impressed that one council member actually noted she received it within like 10 minutes. So thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have tonight.
Okay. All right, mayor and council member comments. Are there any comments by council members? Councilwoman Brown.
I do have a statement. Our attorney Hartness also has his hand up, but I have a statement that I like to read. So I'm going to take this time to do that. During my term, I have encountered a number of situations involving staff, but relevant to this particular issue that we discussed tonight, the Albion Department of Public Safety. Allegations of misconduct and the police beating an impaired teenage boy are concerns of public interest that our city needs to ensure are handled appropriately from start to finish. I take my role as a council member seriously, and I understand my role to implement policies to ensure effective government and public services. I suppose in a system where accountability has only applied to certain employees and officials, diligence may feel like harassment. Let me be clear. I deny all allegations of harassment made by Chief Scott Kip. Mayor Atchison notified me of the complaint via email on August 16th. The August 16th email, in that email, the mayor asked me to remain silent about the allegations and not to bring it to the public's attention. The actual complaint was not shared with me or the council until September 21st, 5 weeks later. Then it was released to the public without a FOIA request. I made numerous requests for the document. Twice on August 16th, once on August 23rd, once on September 8th, and I sent that request so the entire council would be looped in my efforts to obtain the document, and then again on September 20th, and I included the council in that email as well. I was ignored by the mayor until September 21st, after 2 council members, Clark and Spicer, spoke up and asked that my request be answered. In sending the complaint via email on September 21st to the council and City Manager McCleary, you, Mayor, unnecessarily, unprofessionally, and unfairly included your own commentary and summary of the complaint Chief Kipp submitted. Mayor, on August 16th, Attorney Harkness stated in an email to both of us that the Council Code of Ethics Ordinance is the only existing procedure that governs council members in situations similar to this. You failed to follow the procedure outlined in the ordinance. Curiously, you sat on the actual complaint long enough to bring it forward just before the special election next month in Precinct 3. The mayor has been and is currently using this harassment complaint as a political ploy. And I find your actions to be disappointing.
Now you're impugning me. Point of
As
order.
mayor,
You're not permitted to impugn
I
a
can
council
talk
member
10 minutes.
or a city employee or a member of the public.
If it's a lie, call me on the line. Thank you. As mayor, you have the unique opportunity to lead this council and this entire community in a dynamic way. You ran on a platform of unity. However, like your handling of this situation, your repeated actions demonstrate nothing but divisiveness and discrimination. Thank you.
Okay. So I'll respond to your question, sir. Okay. I don't have the emails. You'd have to get Councilwoman Brown to release them. All I have is a portion of it. So I have not read all of the messages. So that's the...
I just asked that the city council read it, and what did they take out of it? So did the city council read the whole entire email or not?
I don't have it. So no, I have not read it.
Did they read it or not?
I don't have it. Mayor,
Okay.
I didn't read it.
Okay.
Can I ask the council, did any of them read it? Have anybody read the email entirely, or do we try to respond to that?
Okay.
So the public would know?
All right. So I've responded and said, I don't have it. Councilwoman Brown would have to release the messages. Okay? I've read what's been released. Okay? Now I'm going to respond. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. So now I'm going to respond. All right? I got the complaint, and I did not ask you not to tell the people. Okay? What I advise you to do was not to make any public statements, post things on social media, or take action that could be construed as retaliatory. That's what I said. Okay? So, we're going to have a third-party investigation to determine whether the conduct as alleged occurred, which is the right thing, which is what you want, and we all voted on it. So, that should make everybody happy. City Attorney Harkness?
So, on an unrelated note, this was something that I spoke to the mayor about on my drive down, and I wanted to just bring to the council's attention. At last night's meeting, there, and I forget what motion it was, the mayor actually made a motion to approve something, and I stopped him because my understanding of that it was improper, because based on they referenced the chair. So I interpret that to mean members make the motion, chair can rule on the motions. My obsessive compulsive nature got the better of me last night, and I went back through our charter, I went back through our rule, I went back through Robert's rules, and there actually is, on page 488, a small single line footnote that indicates, and I just want to tell the council in case this comes up in the future, because it was news to me. Informal discussion may be initiated by the chairman, meaning the mayor himself, which in effect enables the chairman to submit his own proposals without formally making a motion as described in the motion section, although he has the right to make a motion if he wishes. So, I'm gonna eat a little bit of crow. I was incorrect last night. I apologize to the mayor. Just wanted to bring that to your attention, so if this comes up in the future, we have been so advised by Robert's rules, so.
Thank you. I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support. All those in favor say aye. Aye.